Hello, today I'm going to show you how to drink mud, or more precisely, how to get safe drinking water from muddy water. So last year I was planning this backpacking trip through the Paria Canyon in Utah, and while I was researching the available water sources, I found that the springs that are along the route tend to be unreliable, and even just a little drip if they're even there. And the only other obvious source, the Paria River that runs through the canyon, is notoriously muddy. It's thick with clay sediment that just absolutely destroys your water filter. And so in order to be able to drink that water, I needed to be able to figure out how to clarify it. Because it's fine clay sediment, it takes a long time for the clay sediment to settle out of the water. And so I did some research and I found some information about a type of flocculant. Now, flocculants are chemical agents that you add to the water that causes the sediment to aggregate into larger clumps, forcing it to settle out of the water to the bottom of the container, and that leaves clarified, clean water above it. So I want to emphasize that this method that I'm going to show you for removing sediment from water does not make the water safe to drink. After you have removed the sediment and the mud from the water, you still need to purify the water with a certified and tested water purification method in order to remove the bacteria, the protozoa, the viruses, and other things that could potentially make you sick. What the method does is it makes it so that the water will be clarified enough that the particulate sediment will be removed so that it will be less likely to clog or destroy your filter, making it possible to filter it, make it safe so that you can drink it. All right, so the flocculant that I used in order to clarify the water is called alum powder. It's also known as potassium alum or aluminum potassium sulfate. So this alum powder, or alum, it's just often referred to as just alum, is an additive that is used in baking powder. It's used in making pickles to keep the pickles nice and crisp, and it's also used in municipal water supplies for the purpose of clarifying the water. So I looked around and I found some alum online at walmart.com. They had several options available. Last time I checked, I was able to get about a pound for $12. But when you purchase alum for this method, make sure that the alum that you select is a food grade product. All right, and now to demonstrate how to use the alum to clarify water, I went out into my chicken coop and I took a couple of shovelsfuls of dirt and I put it in a bucket and I mixed it with some water, and I'm going to show you that now. All right, here we are with our muddy water. So stir it up really well. So this muddy water has tons of sediment in it. I chose the dirt that I used because it was clay-rich dirt, so that I would be sure to have a lot of the really, really fine particulates in order to demonstrate this method. So I'm going to take one and just let it be, and I'm going to take the other and add some alum. So you add just like 2 pinches of alum, and I found that is sufficient. And then I'm going to stir them both for an equal period of time. So you want to stir it for about a minute. What you're doing is you're dissolving the alum and mixing it throughout the water. And what the alum will do is it has kind of an electrostatic surface, and it bonds to the fine clay sediments, and it causes the clay sediments to bond to each other. And so what you end up doing is making the clay form these larger aggregate clumps that will make it so it's too heavy for it to stay suspended in the water, and it starts to settle down to the bottom of the jar. Now, after you've mixed it adequately, I'm going to keep mixing it for just a little bit longer. After you've mixed it adequately, the important thing is to just let it sit undisturbed out so that the clumps can aggregate, and then they can settle down out of the liquid to the bottom of the jar. And we're going to just let that happen for a little bit and film how it takes place. All right, as you can see, the water is significantly clarified, but it's important not to disturb it because you do end up with a lot of sediment on the bottom that you don't want to mix back up into your drinking water. But it's clarified enough that I think I can safely filter the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use a bandana, the kind that I often take with me backpacking. And I'm going to pour very carefully, taking care not to disturb the jar any more than I have to. I'm going to pour the water through the bandana and into this bottle that I can use for filtering. So here goes. So pouring it through the bandana helps remove a lot of the little floaties that will still be at the top of the water, and makes it so that you have even less sediment in your final product. And that's enough. The filter finished draining out of the funnel. So when I'm actually backpacking, I don't use this system. What I usually use is I have a gravity feed, but I do use a bandana to pre-filter the water just to protect my water filter a little bit better. Okay, that's good enough. And once I have done that, I can just attach my Sawyer water filter. So this is just the Sawyer Mini. So if I had let this sit longer, it would have clarified even better, but I think this is enough for the purposes of filtering to show that I made it so that this water can be fully filtered and made drinkable. And this is still the same water that I use to mix with my chicken coop dirt. But having gone through those multiple processes, it is now clean and clear, has no odor, and is safe to drink. And there's a slight aftertaste, but not bad.